Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the world of TV and radio, because behind all the glitz and glamour, there's a quiet but absolutely massive IT revolution going on. And it is changing, well, pretty much everything about how your favorite shows get from the studio to your screen.
Now, just so you know, what we're covering today is part of a much larger series all about the modern studio. We're going to be focusing on the incredible journey a signal takes from the very moment it's captured all the way to you. All right, so take a look at this. At first glance, yeah, it looks like your typical broadcast control room, right? You've got screens everywhere, a big control panel. But what if I told you that under the hood, this room has way more in common with a Google data center than it does with a traditional TV studio?
And that's the big question, isn't it? That's really the heart of what we're digging into today. The line between a broadcast facility and a high-tech IT data center has gotten so blurry, they've pretty much become the exact same thing.
So how in the world did this happen? How did IT completely take over television? Let's take a look at how these two very different worlds, media production and corporate IT, collided.
This right here tells the whole story. On the left, you see the old way. Every single signal needed its own dedicated physical wire. Everything ran into these huge, specialized machines that could only do one thing. But on the right, that's the world we live in now. It's all just data. We're talking network packets, standard IT servers, and IP-based workflows. We've literally swapped out custom, bespoke hardware for the very same tech that powers the internet. Okay, so let's follow the signal. We're going to trace its journey right from the very beginning. That first moment a camera captures an image or a microphone picks up a sound.
You know, these days, professional cameras are so much more than just a lens and a sensor. They are incredibly sophisticated digital devices. From these giant studio cameras to the ones news crews carry around, and even these little robotic PTZ cameras. They all have the same job: turn light into a perfect, high-quality stream of digital data.
And sound gets the same treatment, a kind of digital polishing process. The raw audio gets cleaned up. First, equalization, or EQ, makes it sound crisp. Then compression evens out the volume, so whispers aren't too quiet and yells aren't too loud. Gating magically removes background noise. And finally, a limiter acts as a safety net to prevent any distortion. It's like a digital assembly line for perfect broadcast-ready audio.
All right, now this is where our signal's journey takes a radical turn. It leaves the world of single-purpose cables behind and enters the new nerve center of the entire studio, the computer network.
Wow, this slide just says it all. On the left, that's the old way. That massive proprietary machine was basically a giant telephone switchboard just for video signals. And on the right, that's today. It's a standard IT rack with network switches, the kind you'd find in literally any corporate data center. The change is just stunning.
And you really can't overstate how rigid and clunky that old system was. Imagine needing a machine the size of a refrigerator just to connect a couple hundred video sources to a couple hundred destinations. It was so inflexible, and it created a literal ton of heat and just a nightmare of tangled cables.
So what's the magic sauce that makes this new world possible? Well, it's a standard called SNMP ST2110. And here's the best way to think about it. Old signals were like a fully baked cake. The video, audio, and data were all mixed together. 2110 basically unbakes the cake, separating them back into individual ingredients. This gives producers incredible freedom to mix and match each element however they want, something that was just impossible before. And they can do it all on a standard computer network.
But listen, this is not your average office network. Not even close. A single stream of uncompressed 4K video from just one camera eats up a staggering 12 gigabits per second of bandwidth. Now multiply that by dozens of cameras, graphics feeds, and servers. What you're looking at are incredibly high-performance networks built to handle an absolute fire hose of data. Okay, so our video and audio are now just little packets of data flying around a network. So what's next? Well, now we have to see how they're all stored, organized, and put together into the final show that actually gets delivered to you. This is a modern video server. Forget about those giant, clunky videotape machines of the past. Today, all the content, the shows, the commercials, you name it, lives on these super high-performance servers. They're like a massive digital library where you can get any clip you want instantly. And as you can see, they look right at home in any data center. So what tells all these servers what to play and when to play it? That is the job of broadcast automation software. Think of it as the conductor of the entire orchestra.
It follows a super precise playlist telling servers which clip to play, when to pop up a graphic, and exactly when to roll the commercials. And it does it all while logging everything to make sure it's all legally compliant.
Okay, we're almost to the finish line. The show is completely assembled, but there is one last, absolutely critical step. All of that beautiful, high-quality, high-bandwidth data needs to be shrunk way, way down so it can actually be sent out over the air or across the internet.
This table really shows you the magic of modern compression. Just look at that 4K stream. Inside the studio, it's a massive 12,000 megabits per second. But after compression, it's just 20 megabits for delivery to your house. That is a data reduction of over 99.8%. It's the only reason high-quality 4K streaming to your home is even possible. It's incredible.
So, we followed the signal all the way from the camera lens to the final broadcast stream. But now, let's talk about the big question. Why does all this amazing technology actually matter to you?
Well, this whole IT-based revolution has a direct impact on what you see at home. For starters, the efficiency and flexibility are what make it possible for broadcasters to give us much higher quality pictures, like 4K and UHD. It also lets them offer more channels using the same amount of airspace, which is called multicasting. And, maybe most excitingly, it lays the entire foundation for future innovations, like truly interactive TV.
This quote from our source material really just says it all. The actual job of a broadcast engineer has been completely transformed. It's not just about signals and scopes anymore. Now, it's about network architecture, server administration, and cybersecurity. These two worlds have truly and permanently become one.
And all of this leaves us with one last, fascinating question to chew on. We've seen the entire broadcast chain go from specialized hardware to just software running on IT servers. So, what's the next logical step? Is it possible the next major broadcast network won't be built in a physical building at all, but entirely in the cloud? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us.